All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're putting on our detective hats to crack the case on a tech giant, Intel. Now, the stock's chart tells a really compelling story, but honestly, it's full of conflicting clues. So our mission is to decode all the technical evidence and figure out what's really going on with INTC. Let's open the case file.
Our investigation starts right here, $39.65. This is Intel's 52-week high. You know, the absolute peak performance, the highest point the stock has managed to reach in the last year. Keep this number in your head.
And this is where the stock is right now, 37 bucks and a penny. It's just hovering right below that yearly peak. The air is always a little thin up here, which of course leads to the one big question on everyone's mind. So, what's the deal? Is this the moment the stock gathers its strength for a powerful push into brand new territory, or is this the final gasp before it just runs out of momentum and tumbles back down? That is the mystery we are here to solve. You know, every good investigation starts with the basic facts. So let's open up the case file and take a look at Intel's vital signs, just to get our bearings. Wow, and this really just lays it all out, doesn't it? It shows you exactly how far Intel has come. I mean, from a low of 1766 to where it is today. To be specific, the current price is sitting at nearly 88% of its entire 52-week range. That has been a massive climb, and it's literally hanging out at the top of the ladder right now.
Okay, so our first lab result is in. The overall technical score comes in at 40.83. Think of this like a quick general health checkup. It's not screamingly bullish, but it's definitely not bearish either. It's basically telling us the situation is stable, maybe even leaning a little bit positive. So a pretty neutral starting point for our investigation.
Now for the really interesting part. We're going to follow the money. Are the big, influential investors piling into this stock, or are they quietly slipping out the back door? Because you know, the flow of money often tells a story that the price chart alone just can't. And boom, here it is, our first major conflicting clue. The on-balance volume, which pretty much tracks cumulative buying and selling, is positive. So on the surface, it looks like more people are buying than selling. Simple enough. But the accumulation/distribution line, which is kind of like the inside story, is negative. This suggests that even on days the stock price is up, it's not closing at its strongest point. That's a hint that there's some quiet underlying selling pressure. This is a real head-scratcher, and it's the first big twist in our case. Okay, so to sort out these conflicting clues, we have to bring in the specialists, the core technical indicators. These are the diagnostic tools that are going to help us check the underlying health of this stock's trend. And right away, the moving averages give us a very clear, very positive signal. The price is trading above its short-term averages. That shows recent strength, and even more importantly, it is well above its 200-day average, which is the classic sign of a healthy long-term uptrend. This is a huge piece of evidence for the bulls. But then we get to the MACD indicator, and things get a little more complicated again. Let's break this down. First, the MACD value itself is positive. That confirms what the moving averages told us. We are in an uptrend. Great. But, and this is a big but, the histogram is negative. What that means is, while the car is still moving uphill, the driver has definitely started to ease their foot off the gas. The trend is still intact, but its energy, its momentum is fading. This is our first yellow flag.
And just to add another layer here, we have the ADX indicator. This one measures the strength of a trend, no matter which direction it's going. And at nearly 50, this is a very high reading. It confirms that this uptrend isn't just some random blip on the radar. It's a powerful and really well-established move. So the trend is strong, even if its momentum is slowing down.
Okay, so we've got a strong trend with weakening momentum. That raises a super important question for any detective. Is our main lead reliable? Let's check the evidence to see how much we can actually trust this upward path.
This number right here is a huge clue. 81%. This is the R-squared value, and it tells us how much of the stock's movement can be explained by its trend line. And this slide really gets to the heart of why that 81% is so important. An R-squared value this high is pretty rare, actually. It means the stock has been moving in a very consistent, predictable, almost straight-line fashion. The path it's taken upward has been incredibly reliable. This is another major point for the bullish case. So with all this evidence, a strong but tiring trend, conflicting money flow, but a highly predictable path, let's map out the battlefield. These are the key price levels that are probably going to determine the next move. Okay, here are the lines in the sand. Resistance is the ceiling the bulls need to break through at 38.23. Support is the floor the bears need to crack at 35.93. And notice how our current price is just a little below that central pivot point. That tells you there's a real tug-of-war happening right now.
And this brings us to the two most likely scenarios. In the bullish case, a decisive move above that 38.23 resistance level could give the stock the fuel it needs to make a run at its 52-week high. But in the bearish case, a failure to hold support at 35.93 could trigger a pretty significant pullback, with the next major support level a lot lower. We've examined the clues, we've analyzed the evidence, and we've mapped out the possibilities. So I think it's time to close the case file and deliver the final verdict from our investigation. So here's the summary. The case for the bulls is powerful. You've got a strong, reliable, long-term uptrend. Can't argue with that. But the case for caution is subtle, but it's significant. Momentum is fading, and there are those hints of quiet selling. So the conclusion, the overall trend is still bullish, but it has definitely arrived at a critical make-or-break point.
And this quote from the source analysis just perfectly captures the verdict. It's a technical tug-of-war. You have a clear uptrend fighting against some early signs of exhaustion. The direction from here is really going to tell us which side has more strength left in the tank.
And that leaves us with our final question. Intel is standing at a crossroads where a powerful trend is meeting these clear signs of exhaustion. So, which force is going to win out? The inertia of this strong uptrend or the gravity of its fading momentum? That is the story to watch. Thanks for joining me for this breakdown.